So this is where it all begins for Eibach Springs, the raw material, or the wire. We actually have 4 dedicated steel mills across the world, from Japan, United States, Germany, and South Korea, that actually make a special Eibach alloy for us, which is a very high tensile wire compared to most competitors that are out there making a similar type of product. We're going to go in and take a look at the first steps of how we actually make the coil spring. Now, these large machines that you see here are our Wafios machines, designed by Eibach engineers in Germany, and they're kind of one of a kind for us. We take the raw material that you saw, basically the wiring. Once then it goes to the hoppers, we lay it down flat on its back, and then our coil specialist will load it into the Wafios machine. And then once he gets that first coil done, he'll take it, measure out the free length, the diameter, and make sure it's right to spec as we have it drawn out from our engineers here at Eibach United States. So the next stage in our coil spring process, our Pro Kit process, is actually grinding. So now the difference between our newly coiled spring here, which is actually a motorsport spring, its ends are actually completely rounded still. Then we actually put it on the grinder and create a flat grind on both ends for this application. So our powder coating process is a very important process to protect the spring against corrosion. You can actually see them using a blue powder coat because we do a ton of different colors for private label business, for OE and spec as well. So now that the spring is finished, we'll take it in here and to our QA department, or quality control. So as you can see, as we kind of take a stroll through here, all of our springs, they're actually brought in here, and we have actually an assortment of different spring testers to find out characteristics of load, rate, how much travel is available as well. So all of our motorsport springs will actually be 100% tested to make sure that every spring passes. If a spring actually comes back defective or flawed in any sort of way, we have to actually scrap the entire lot, begin the whole process over again. So one of the other important ingredients that we use for our suspension setups here at Eibach Springs are our sway bars. Once again, we look at the raw material. We actually use both solid and tubular bars depending on application. Of course, for the more with the sports cars like the Mustang and the Camaros, we like to go with the tubular bar just to lighten up the suspension and the corner weight as well. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Andrew's got his fresh bar coming off the machine right now. And what Andrew's going to do now is take some measurements on the bar to make sure everything's asymmetrical. So this is the next stage in our sway bar production process, which is called informing. We actually have the bent bars inside the oven where they're red hot on the ends, and then we take it through 3 different stages. First is the flat press, and then next is the trimming press, so we actually can round the ends, and then our hole punch press. Following up after our informing station here with the sway bars, they go through similar stages as our springs do, which is going to be the shot peen stage, and then onto powder coating. Well folks, that's the end of the tour of Eibach Springs. I hope you guys learned a lot, and also learned that we produce everything here in the United States, facility here in Corona, California, from springs, shocks and dampers, as well as sway bars.